Good day, guys. So today I'll be teaching you how to cut a palazzo trouser. For those who do not know how to measure, please check my previous video. So the first thing I will be needing is the person's thigh measurements divided by 2. So for this, the thigh is 26 and I divided 26 by 2. I had 13. So afterwards, I took my length. The person's length is 43 plus sewing allowance. I made it 44 inches. But at the upper part, I left 2 inches off because I want to attach a band. So I took 2 inches off my measurements. That's because I want to attach a band to the trouser. So I didn't include that. Then the next thing is my crotch measurement. For my crotch, I usually divide my client's hip divided by 4. So then I have 10 inches. My client's measurement here is 40 inches. So after then, I take my hip measurements divided by 4. My hip measurement divided by 4, that's where my hip measurement stopped. So I made a straight line to meet where my crotch measurement is. Don't forget your thigh divided by 2 and your hip divided by 4. For those who have the ruling set, you can use the ruler to get that curve. If you don't, if you think you are good enough, you can use your hand to curve the crotch to where the hip is. Then the next thing I'm taking is my waist to my knee, because it's a palazzo trouser. From my knee part, it will be fitted. Anything below my knee is going to be very free, but anything above my knee will be tight. So that is me taking my thigh measurement, making it to meet where my crotch starts from. I'm taking my lower thigh measurement. So you need to know your upper thigh and your lower thigh measurement and your round knee measurement. So this is me taking the round knee measurement. So when I take the round knee measurement, I take it from both sides. I don't take it from just one side. As you can see, I'm on the other side too, taking the round knee measurement. Afterwards, I'll take my ruler to achieve my free mouth palazzo. Take my ruler here. So from there, I put it like you want to draw an A shape. That is what I'm going to have. So it depends on how wide you want your trouser's mouth to be. It depends on how wide you want it. If you want it wider, just make anyhow you want to. Just make the lower part wider, depending on how wide you want it to be. But when you're drawing, make sure it comes to meet where you already chopped, just like this. Make sure it comes to meet it, so you're on the same. You're having your accurate measurements. So that's it. I already did that to attach to where my ties are. The next thing I'll be doing is to cut. This is me making sure the measurements are accurate. Then after that, I removed 1 inch from that part. Even when I cut my skirt and my gown too, I always take 1 inch from that part because of the way our structures are, especially as women. So it makes that place lay well on the waist, like the tummy part. So I always take 1 inch off and slant it up like that. Afterwards, all I'm going to do is to cut what I already drafted out on my fabric. Do not forget your thigh measurement divided by 2, your hip measurement divided by 4. So anything from your crotch, you divide it by 4. Anything below your crotch, you divide it by 2. That's just the logic for trousers. So this is me cutting out the exact shape I already drafted on the fabric. Even before sewing, you can see that it's already giving the shape of a palazzo pants that has a wide leg rather. It's already giving the shape. So take your time to cut what you have already drawn on your fabric. Don't cut anything outside that. It might either reduce your measurement or add to your measurement. Make sure you're taking the right measurement, then cut it out. If you notice I didn't put allowance while I'm cutting this one, there's a reason. The reason is because when I want to cut the other parts, I am going to add allowance. So this is the first part and we call it the front part of the trousers. This is the front part of the trousers. Allowance will be added to the back part. So after cutting the front part, you need to cut the back part too. And to cut the back part, you fold your fabric into two as usual when you want to cut your clothes, and you lay the front part on the back fabric. But when you want to cut the back part, you're going to make it extra than the front part, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm going to lay it, and the other side, which is not the side where we have the crotch, I'm going to lay it and make sure it's very firm on the fabric and it's on the same place, so I can see the difference. I mean, you know, we made a shape in the first one. There's a shape we gave the first one, so we need an exact shape again for the back. So we are going to do the same thing. So after you lay it, as you can see from the video, you can see the shape of the first one is showing from the extra fabric at the back. So you're going to cut it to get the exact same shape you had in front, which is what I'm doing now. That is the first thing you need to do. You need to lay your front fabric on your back fabric and lay it equally. You would see how to trim the other parts to make sure you're having the same thing. That is what I'm doing. So look at the excess fabric from the shape I had in the first one, which happens to be the front part of my fabric. So you trim it out. You can see the excess is that shapy part. After trimming it out, then you now need to relay your clothes. The next thing you need to do is to make sure that same side you trimmed is 1.5 inches wider than the other parts. 1.5 inch. This is me trying to put my tape roll on this to make sure I have 1.5 inch there. After having 1.5 inch, I'm going to lay it well. You need this 1.5 inch. If you realize I didn't put allowance when I was cutting the front part, so because I know that the back is going to have 1.5 inches allowance, that's why I didn't put it at the front part. After putting the 1.5 inches allowance, you're going to make sure the trouser is firm on the other fabric, because some materials can be very shaky. Then afterwards, what I'm going to do again is to come to that crotch part and give it 2 inches allowance. Just that crotch part alone, 2 inches. And I'm going to drag it down by 4 inches. As you can see, I made this 2 inches wider at that crotch part alone for the back of the trouser. I'm going to slant it down to my 4 inches. This helps the bottom part to sit well. That's why when you see some trousers, they are well fitted when they wear it. The bottom part is sitting well and the front part is very firm, it's not saggy. That's all. Then I cut out the same shape from the other side till I get to that crotch part where I already made an extra inch at the crotch part. The breeze was disturbing my clothes here at this point. I was very tired, but you just have to do what you have to do. So this is me cutting now. Take note of this part. Look at the chalk part. The 4 inches I dragged down. This is me cutting it out. And the 2 inches extra for the crotch, I already included it from the chalk. And I cut out the crotch the same way it is in front. After passing out that 4 inches long and 2 inches wide I had at the crotch. Also take note, while I was cutting the front, I reduced the upper part by 1/2 inch. I slanted it, so I was trying to make sure I don't have that same reduction at the back. It's only the front that needs 1/2 inch reduction. Look at me trying to make sure it's there, so I don't make the same mistake, that mistake to the back, and also reduce it by 1/2 inch or 1 inch depending on what you want to use. So I had to add it, and this is me cutting it out. After trimming it, I realized it was not so balanced. Like the other parts here was still a bit bigger, so I had to retrim it again. And that is all. If you can use this method for your trousers, especially your palazzo, it would be very firm and it will be fitted at the upper parts. Or even if you don't want it fitted, it will stay well on you. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more amazing hacks, and don't forget to split your fabrics into two after cutting. This is what I just did here. After cutting both the front and the back, just split it.